Hi you guys, so this week on Mindfulness Mondays we are getting deep, inward, silent, turning our focus and attention inward to study the sensorial or sensory system. So this is going to be a guided meditation practice, and it's going to incorporate the three major styles of meditation: single pointedness or single focus meditation, open monitoring, and Metta, loving kindness and compassion. And the reason we're doing this is because we don't want to just dive into open monitoring. Our mind is already kind of chaotic and multitasking, and so we need to ground our practice, come into a place where we kind of focus and hone our attention and land and hold our space of meditation. And then from there we can kind of open it up and play with the sensations in the body. And then I always like to end my practice with a little bit of Metta, a traditional form of Buddhist meditation of loving kindness and compassion, because you can be enlightened as hell, but if you don't have that compassion component, you could be totally classically enlightened and miss that component, then what's the point? And also it's a great place to hold a space for yourself of loving kindness and compassion as you're working through this, because all sorts of things are going to come up, and we want to be able to be patient and kind with ourselves as we work through things that come up in our meditation practice, and as we become accustomed to being quiet and still and going inward. So when you're ready to, you're going to find a comfortable seat. You can sit upright. If you really need to lie flat on your back and do this in a lying position because you have spinal issues or issues with a body, that is okay to do. Just make sure that you try not to fall asleep. And even if you're upright, I find that most new students, that's one of the hardest things to overcome, is the sleepiness. If you find yourself slipping in, or you find yourself kind of falling asleep or nodding off, you want to just take a few fast breaths and then come back to your normal breathing. And we're going to do a nose breath through this entire practice. And we want the spine to be aligned and upright. This is a practice less of effort and more of alignment through the spine. And as we're aligned and upright and lengthened in our spine, it also helps to stay alert. So that will help with sleepiness as well. So when you're ready to, find a place to settle in. I like to use cushions or pillows underneath my knees and on my back. Sometimes you can sit in any position that's comfortable for you. Just make sure that it's a position that you can sustain and maintain for about 15 minutes. And if you need to make adjustments, make small, tiny, quiet adjustments. Because the further you get into the practice, the deeper and the more subtler we get. When we move and make fast jerk reactions, it kind of pulls us out of that place that we're settling into, that quiet stillness, that space of silence and stillness. So if you have to move as quietly and slowly as you can, like if you need to change a position. And if your feet fall asleep or your legs fall asleep or something falls asleep, know that that's most likely, unless you have a certain nerve condition, and it's not going to cause any long-term damage. If your legs go numb or they get that tingling sensation and you need to move, just remember, move slowly and deliberately. And you'll find eventually a position in a spot where I can hold mine for a couple of hours without anything going numb or anything falling asleep on me. So here we go, you guys. Find any comfortable seat. Rest the arms anywhere they're comfortable. You don't have to do this, have a mudra or have the hands in any particular place. You're looking to be able to lay the hands someplace where they're not going to concave the shoulders, or they're not going to cause the spine to be out of balance. So first, align your spine. And remember, this is more about alignment than effort here. So align your spine. Maybe give the head a woggle forward and back. Relax the shoulders down, and then put the hands wherever they're comfortable, wherever they're not going to pull your spine out of alignment. Take a nice big yawn. You're just going to let the chatter off the mouth and the lips dissipate. Or a ha or an ah. And then when you're ready to, closing the mouth, so you're inhaling, exhaling through the nose. And through as much of this practice, you really want to be able to breathe through the nose. There's something so paramount about that nose breath. It's intimate. It's the way we're going to come into single-pointed focus meditation. And it also is something that's very subtle that we can connect to. See if you can relax the jawline, relax the tongue. Maybe shake the eyebrows up and down a few times. And just say to yourself silently, just relax. And the exhales, just relax. See if you can let go of any tightness or tension in the body that you may be holding inadvertently. Sometimes that happens in the face. Maybe you just relax the eyes a little bit. Relax the belly, relax the chest. Go into like the hips joints, maybe the knee joints or the ankle joints or the elbow joints or the shoulder joints. And just see if there's anything you can do to just relax and let go of any tension that you may be holding purposefully in the body. Just to let go. And then just putting a placeholder in the back of the mind somewhere, as if you were literally dropping a placeholder to tell your busy mind to stay present for the next 15 minutes, to focus, concentrate, and be fully present in this practice. And then just remind your busy mind that you will come back to all those things in 15 minutes, whatever silliness it wants to bring to you or show you. But for the next 15 minutes, nobody needs you. Just remind yourself there's nowhere to be, nothing to do but stay present. And then as you start to breathe through the nose, start to bring all your awareness and focus and attention to the nose, this space, this triangle space of the nose. See if you can keep the eyes closed and keep them closed through the rest of this practice. Should be able to just listen to the instructions from here on out. And you're just coming into your bare breath, your natural breath. It could be deep, it could be shallow, it could be fast, it could be slow. The right nostril could be plugged or the left nostril could be plugged. You're just coming into your bare breath, your natural nose breath. Maybe you feel the cool on the inhale as you draw the air in. Maybe you feel the heat on the exhale as you let the breath out. And every time the mind starts to wander away, just draw it back to that nose breath. To feel the sensations in the nose, just to follow the breath. You're just following the inhale on the way in. And you're tracking, concentrating, focusing, following the breath on the way out. Just feel the incoming breath and the outgoing breath. As you start to settle into your natural rhythm of breath. You can start to tune any outside noise or clutter or chatter out and just move inward to the sensations of that nose breath. And again, every time the mind starts to wander away or get distracted, just come back to the breath. And this will happen over and over. You'll notice after sitting in silence in this meditation for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, just how unruly that mind is. And that's okay. We're not trying to stop the thoughts. We're not trying to analyze them. We're just going, oh, come back. Pay attention to the breath. Pay attention to the sensations of the nose breathing. Just following the breath on the inhale coming in, on the exhale going out. And maybe you feel tingling sensation in the nose, or maybe you feel the touch of the breath across the top of the lip. Just noticing what you notice. You're not looking for anything in particular, and whatever you find, you're not judging or getting curious about. You're just noticing. Bringing all your awareness and attention just to the space, this little triangle shape of the nose. And then when you're ready, we're going to expand a little bit out from there. So see if you can draw your awareness and attention to the face. See if you can settle in and relax the face. If there's any place that you're purposely holding tension on, maybe relax the corners of the eyes or the forehead. Relax the jawline. So let the tongue drop down. Seeing if you can connect to any sensations there that may come up. And if nothing comes up, that's fine too. And then when you're ready, moving your awareness and attention to the crown of the head. Right on top of the head. Maybe moving your awareness and attention to the right side or the left side of the head. Down through the ear, the jawline, a little bit into the throat, and then maybe back up to the crown of the head when you're ready. And then maybe into that other side. Down the side, the face, the side of the head, through the ears, cheeks, jawline, maybe down into the throat. And then when you're ready, coming back up to the crown of the head, and we're going to move down the back side. Back of the head, into the neck, maybe a little bit into the lower neck, the upper back. And then tracing maybe slowly back up towards the crown of the head. And just keeping your awareness and attention on the crown of the head. You're not trying to do anything mystical or magical here. We're not opening up the crown chakra or messing around. You're just feeling the sensations on the crown of your head. Seeing what you see, what you notice, not searching or seeking, just recognizing, oh, that's a sensation. Could be a tingling sensation, or an itching or burning or vibrating or whatever kind of sensation, just sitting with whatever comes up. And it could be no sensation at all. There could be a dull spot on the crown of your head, and that's okay too. And when you're ready, you're going to move down as if you're coming straight down through the crown of your head, down through the neck, and then just let your attention spread out across the tops of your shoulders. Maybe you come down into the right side, and then back to the center and into the left side. If you want to hang out in one of your shoulder joints or both of them, feel free. Maybe you feel the sensations in the throat a little bit. And just kind of slowly moving down the body. And then taking a little bit of time at the shoulder joint, see if you can just let go of any intention to move your arms or do anything with your arms. For the next few minutes, you don't need to move the arms, so just see if they can become like limp noodles. And then maybe from your right or left shoulder, whatever side you may be paying attention to, move down the shoulder, through the shoulder joint, through the arm, the bicep, the forearm, the wrist, palms of the hand, the first set of knuckles in that hand, all the way up into the very tips of the tips of that hand. You feel the space in between the fingertips across the back side of the wrist. Coming up the back side of the arm, maybe into the elbow joint, maybe into that back side, the tricep area. Back up into the shoulder. When you're ready, crossing through the chest, through the clavicle area over to the other side, coming into that other shoulder and just doing the same thing, starting at the top of the shoulder, maybe hanging out at the shoulder joint, and then just slowly working your way down. And it can be like a whole chunk of arm, like bicep, tricep, or you can go down the front of the arm, hang out on the fingertips and the palms of the hands, and then come up the back side of the arm. Just drawing all of your focus and attention and awareness there. And coming back up when you're ready from the fingertips, the wrists, the forearm, the bicep, the shoulder, into the clavicle area, into the chest and the heart center. We're going to hang out in that chest and heart center. You pay attention to the front of the torso, the chest area. And you're going to move inside the body as if you were paying attention to the chest area from right in the middle of the lungs or the heart center. Maybe feel the back side of the chest and the front of the chest and the top of the chest and the sides of the chest. Just relaxing. And maybe moving down into that solar plexus area, the lower chest, lower rib cage, upper belly kind of area. And again, feeling into from the center of your body outward, feeling into the front of that solar plexus, and the back, into the upper to mid back, maybe into the sides. When you're ready, moving down slowly into that upper belly area. Lots of stuff going on in the belly, you guys. Hang out in that space for a little bit. And then one other thing to do here is just to relax. This is a place that often we hold tight, or we hold tension or tightness in, or always at the ready, kind of holding our belly in. So really let your belly become full and round, and relax and breathe into that space. Maybe feel like what it feels like in the front of the belly, and then moving down into the lower belly, kind of getting down into the organs. Maybe a little bit down into the reproductive area, to the hip joints. Maybe into the back side of the lower back. See what that feels like there. What sensations are there. When you're ready, moving down into that pelvic floor, from the tailbone to the pubic bone, in through the hip joints, where that long femur bone meets into the hip joint, that area. And then before we move down the legs, just kind of taking a quick note that there's nothing to do with the legs for the next few minutes. You don't need to use them. Just let them become limp like noodles. And then starting down one leg, doesn't matter which one. Maybe through the hip, through the thigh, the hamstring. And again, you can go down the front of the leg, come up the back, or do vice versa. Or you can go a big chunk at a time. So you go hamstring, thigh, and maybe the front and the back of the knee, and the front and the back of the calf. And getting down into that ankle joint. Complicated little joint, does a lot of movement, feeling the sensations there. Maybe down through the heel of that foot, the sole of the foot, through the arch, through the ball of the foot, through the toes. See if you can feel your toes. Coming up the front of the leg, the tops of the toes, maybe the front of the foot, the shin. We're just slowly working our way up. When you're ready, back up that leg. Maybe up towards the shin, the calf, the knees, the thighs, the hamstrings. Coming up into the glutes and the hip joint, and then moving over into that other side to the other leg. And just starting at the hip joint, take a breath or two there and hang out. Connect to the sensations there before moving on down the leg. Moving towards the top of the thigh, front to back, middle of the thigh, that long femur bone, hamstrings, down into the knees. Maybe you hang out at the joint of the knee. It's another very complicated mover, very complex joint. And you're just noticing some places you'll find, woo, there's a lot of sensation there. And other places you'll find, ooh, I'm kind of dull there. There aren't any sensations. There are always sensations. We just haven't connected to them. Or we haven't gotten quiet enough and subtle enough. So don't worry if there's no sensations. There may be a dull spot. And then sometimes there may be an active or over sensation area in the body. So just recognizing. Maybe moving down now to the calf and the shin area. Just taking your time as you work little bit by little bit, inch by inch, or part by part, or piece by piece as you move down to the shins, the ankle joint, the heel of the foot, arch, ball of the foot, the very tips of the toes. Letting go of any sensation that your arms or your legs have to do anything, that you have to do anything. You're just feeling the sensations. And then when you're ready to, just slowly moving back up that leg. Coming back up into your hip joint or that pelvic floor area. Slowly working your way up inch by inch, piece by piece, part by part, however you get there. Moving back up into the pelvic floor, to those lower organs, to the middle belly, to the upper belly, to the solar plexus, to the heart center, to the chest, clavicle, throat. And then when you're ready, just let everything go. And take a few breaths just to sit in your body and feel it as a whole. Listening, feeling any sensations in the body. You may feel a humming or a buzzing or a pulsing sensation. Some parts of the body may be screaming loudly at you. Some parts of the body may be completely dull. And as we're moving through this practice, if you find a part of your body that's really screaming at you, it's agitated, irritated, there may be a little pain, or there may be some sensation that's louder than the other sensations in your body, just notice it, not dwell on it. Just recognize it. And then see if you can move somewhere else where the sensation is a little more subtler. Oftentimes that could be back sides of the tricep area, usually pretty quiet there. Or maybe your biceps, or maybe the middle of your right thigh. You're just moving to some place where you feel maybe like it's a little more relaxed or a little more subtle, the sensation. And then when you're ready, you're either going to go from the crown of the head down to the feet, or the feet up to the crown of the head, and you're just going to go part by part of your body, through each piece and part of the body. You can start at the crown of the head, and you just kind of move through your awareness and attention, crown of the head, maybe down the back side of the head, maybe back up to the crown of the head, down through the face slowly, out into the ears, down into the neck, across the clavicle, the top of the shoulders, down in through the arms. And you can go one arm at a time, or if you want to sweep through both arms, just moving slowly and deliberately, part by part, bit by bit. When you get all the way down to the very tips of the fingertips, then just work your way back up the arms. And then moving down, when you get up through the top of the arms back to the neck, moving down. Maybe you move down the front of the body, the clavicle area, the chest, upper belly, middle belly, sides of the belly and torso, lower belly through the pelvic floor and up the back side of the spine, maybe the lower back, waistline, the sides of the back, middle back, upper back, high heart center, back side. Maybe sweep right to left across the shoulders. And then back down slowly, maybe through the center or the midline, the spinal column, down into your root or pelvic floor area, into those hip joints. And the same thing with the legs, either moving one leg at a time, slowly, bit by bit, part by part, piece by piece, or you can do a sweeping down both legs. The hips, thighs, hamstrings, back of the knee, front of the knee, middle of the knee joint, shins, calves, ankles, heels, soles of the feet, arch, ball of the foot, tips of the toes. And once you get down to your feet, come back up slowly to the crown of the head and just take a few sweeps up and down the body. And you can pause and hang out here as long as you'd like. Sweeping from the toes up to the crown of the head, or from the crown of the head down through the toes. Just trying not to get lost in any one sensation, whether it's heavy and dense or dull and light. So what open monitoring is kind of moving your awareness and attention through the body to feel what sensations come up. Sometimes there's a restriction there and it feels as thick as mud and dull and you can't feel anything. Other times it's like buzzing out of control. You're just sitting with whatever sensations arise. Again, without judgment, without categorizing, without naming. Just observing. Good. Good. When you're ready to, see if you can spread your awareness and attention out to the whole body. As if you could feel kind of a unified field through the body, or buzzing or humming sensation through the body. And it's okay if there are dull spots. Just feeling what you feel, noticing what you notice. And again, if one part is louder than the rest or screaming at you for attention, just recognize that and then let it go. And then moving into Metta meditation, loving kindness and compassion meditation, when you're ready to, draw your attention and awareness into your chest or heart center. And just take a few breaths there, and you're going to repeat to yourself silently, or if you're alone and you want to repeat it out loud. May I feel love. May I feel love. I am worthy of love. May I feel peace. May I feel peace. May I feel joy. May I feel joy. May I feel love. May I feel peace. May I feel joy. Or just recognizing I am love. I am peace. I am joy. Those are all flowing through me all of the time. Just getting out of our own way, dropping in and connecting. And we're just going to go through the first part of Metta meditation, not sending anything outward. We're just going to keep that focus and awareness and attention, that loving kindness directed inward. Just repeating maybe one more time. I am love. I am peace. I am joy. May I feel love. May I feel peace. Today, may I feel joy. Today, may I feel joy. Feeling the sensations, that life inside your body. all that's going on inside that we ignore and don't pay attention to. This is going on 24/7 in our body. And when you're ready to, you hang out here as long as you like. When you're ready to, you're just going to slowly blink the eyes open. Coming back into your space, into the room, and maybe you give a nice stretch if that feels good. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.